I can't believe that we are still talking about WCW. The guys over there, of course, at the dark side of the ring, and that gang decided to put together this cute little 4-episode special about who killed WCW. We're 2 episodes in, and I think the theme that has gone through this whole thing with everybody involved, for the most part, comes down to one word: bitterness. They're all ticked off. I mean, seriously. I think that everyone is just so angry that WCW does not still exist. And it just seems like it is running through everybody's veins when they are interviewing them that WCW is gone. And they're all pointing fingers again at everybody else about, why this organization died. It's been an interesting show, and it's interesting to listen to Meltzer and Alvarez say, this is wrong, that's wrong, but man, there's just a lot of venom still about this almost a quarter of a century later. Matt, what are your thoughts on the show so far?
No, seemingly everybody's mad but Kevin Nash. Because Kevin Nash is like, yeah, I collected a paycheck. Yeah, I'd have done it again if I could do it today. Kevin Nash doesn't seem upset about anything. But the thing about the death of WCW is a lot of people were to blame.
Yeah.
There's not just one person that you can point to and say this is the reason why WCW died. Like multiple people had a big hand in the downfall of this company. No, nobody's hands are clean. Like so many people, were detrimental to that company, and they did it to themselves. And honestly, it's a cautionary tale. I mean, people should, like, wrestling owners in 2024 should study the downfall and the death of WCW for a learning device of what not to do with your company.
Right.
And there was a point when, WWE was spinning this narrative about 9 or 10 years ago or whatever, when they did the Monday Night War documentary on the network, and they're burying all this stuff WCW is doing, and I'm like, are you all listening to yourselves? You're doing all this shit right now. Y'all need to fix. You need to fix these things and right the ship, or you're going to end up like WCW did. You're making the same mistakes they were. Luckily, Vince is gone, and WWE is making money hand over fist, and they're more profitable and popular than they've been in ages. But there was a point where WWE in the 2010s were making a lot of the same mistakes that WCW was making during the late 90s.
Yep.
But they didn't have they weren't owned by a television network that could go in and get them shut down.
Right.
And that was one of the major issues with WCW, is they weren't independently owned. Like,
yeah, I think it's interesting. Eric Bischoff is, Eric's coming off pretty good in this, but Eric made a lot of mistakes too, and I also, Turner obviously had their issues, and they're it, I think Eric made a fair statement where he said it was death by 1,000 swords, and that made sense. And you could kind of tell that everybody, and I think Eric does realize that he screwed up a lot. I don't think he's necessarily taking all the blame that maybe he should have, but there's still 2 more episodes to go.
I think episode 2 was much more of an Eric Bischoff puff piece than it needed to be.
Yeah.
Because I do think there's a lot of blame that should be landed on Bischoff's shoulders, and I think he's still bitter about it. And I think that's why he has this vendetta with Tony Khan and AEW, because there is a wrestling company nowadays that are run on the Turner networks that there's a happy partnership there,
as opposed to
and
what it was.
Bischoff never got to have that happy partnership.
No, he did
with
not.
With those network executives beyond Ted Turner. So
yeah, NJ, real quick, I've got about like 35 seconds ish. What were your thoughts on this?
For the four part episode that produced by the final boss, The Rock, for Vice TV. Thank you. I like it. Like you said, Kevin Nash is not upset because he had a hell of a time collecting the checks, smashing all the divas, and politicking all the world championships, and running all the factions that he wanted in WCW when it came to the Wolfpack, when it came to NWO, and when it came to smashing Tori Wilson, when it came to campaigning for the World Heavyweight title. So that's why he's not upset. It is what it is. But everybody else has a reason to be bitter because he's the one that held them down. Kevin Nash is the reason why they lost future world champions in Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, The Big Show, Chris Jericho.
Oh,
So that's why
wow.
everybody's bitter. The death of WCW was a huge part of Big Sexy Kevin Nash. I said it. It is what it is.
He didn't like his booking getting called out, though.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Wrestling 101. Oh, he didn't enjoy that very much.
I wouldn't either.
Ouch.